Here's a little bit longer poem called Tomorrow, which is a poem about getting older, which happens to some of us. And it's also, I think part of that death notion is I've never liked autumn. It's beautiful, it couldn't be a nicer ride up here, the trees are gorgeous, but it's always so sad to me that it's the end of the summer, and only I think as I get older it's changed a bit. But this is called Tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes, but it's here right now in the living room with me, right next to my chair, the grayish one with the stripes from the old days in the office, when sitting in the corner in the cushy chair was like taking a holiday in Spain or Paris, even before the airlines needed to whisk you away to Saint-Tropez. I had a trophy there, an award performance, remembered fondly by the walls, the sheetrock, and even the window and its frame, probably even the electric lights, fluorescents that watched from their off position, the whole thing, the whole dance, the whole experience, played out against gray carpet, and with a few other chairs and a table or two looking on and commenting. Well, there it was in this setting I've lovingly described, where 40s passed by, those miraculous 40s, where the power of our life was realized, where the strength of mature adulthood took its mark and left it all around, in strength and power, as powerful as we were going to be. That's where we made our mark. That's where we became, from our 30s, boy wonders on the move, to our 40s, boy wonders having moved, life, art, music, sex, divorce, children, partnerships, new cars, new homes. All these things took shape in the 40s. So much, so rich, so strident, so full of taste buds' delight. Yet filled with the lack of self-awareness that only hindsight brings to bear. Here the 50s redound. What do they speak of but hindsight and futures with a different sense of self? Futures with a less powerful push, with less oomph than, I can do it. Oh, I can do it, oh yes, but sometimes, in the mirror of my shadow on the walk, or just watching the flip of a leg over a bike, I see the movement of an old man, that stiffness that places the fluid movements of youth into old man categories, and straightens the curves and makes the leg less swoopier. It's a hint, but it's there. We've all seen old men and old women dance. It's that dance that wants to audition now for the new part that smiles, that says polydent instead of crest. It ain't bad and it ain't sad. Of course it is. But it is so much so that even autumn can be tolerated now. Even autumn that hurt me so in the past, that made me cry with its meanness, its stealing of the warmth, of the long days, of the chirping nights. That mean, harsh autumn, all dressed up in fancy clothes, never fooled me. I hated its mean endings and its presence of ice-cold gray streets. That autumn, that same autumn, comes now like an old non-friend, almost tolerable for sure, sometimes even showing its good side, its sweetness smirking behind its flash. And I can say, here's old autumn again. He'll be gone before the night is up. Let's see his dress and his swank this year, because spring, our beloved, will be here before you can say blink. Because with age comes speed, comes life as a rollerblade wheel that spins and circles at its own momentum with no rhyme or reason. But that's how it is today. Some say, hooray. A short one? Sure.
I thought I was beneath my feet, right? How about beneath my feet?
That's a good one.
That's a good one. I will.
All right. So I'm going to get, if you want a short one, I have one that I'm going to end with, but Jeffrey wants to hear what's beneath my feet, so I'll give you two little ones.
Okay.
This is actually an interesting poem because I've observed that writing poems, I think you write them and they sit there, but this is a poem that has to do with China and the way you think of China. When I wrote this poem, like maybe 3 years ago, we viewed China differently than we view China today. And even that poem that I started with called Puppy Love, and I needed somebody to hit the Grand Slam home run. So in the poem here, I picked Derek Jeter. But when I wrote the poem, I picked Alex Rodriguez. And then somebody says to me, A-Rod. It's so interesting, you picked A-Rod. Now look, you know. So, and even Jeter, I wanted Babe Ruth, but people would read it and think, oh, this guy's an old fart. I don't know. And then Jeter retired. What can I do? So this poem is called What's Beneath My Feet? And I'm reading it because of personal request.
I don't think it's in there.
No, didn't get it in the book?
Mm.
It's a good
It
problem.
might be in my thing, but I can read to you later, don't worry. Okay,
Read it later.
I'll read it.
Later.
This one is called Night Wanderings. And I don't sleep too much, so this was one of my evenings. Night Wanderings. I woke up at 3 and refused more sleep. I didn't toss or turn. I didn't roll about in the bed like I was trying something. I got up and crossed to the desk where the trusted computer diversion machine sits. I tried card games and Yahoo Entertainment junk. I glanced at the Times, read emails, visited Facebook, contemplated looking for a beheading video, but shuttered it off, and sat down to write these words. The end.